Find your path with the knowledge of others and become an illuminator for those who struggle. Guide their way just by being true and being in alignment, because it comes naturally to you. On self-discovery wisdom, we share to find inspiration with lessons for millions. We hope you listen.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Health is Your Choice, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Ruth Minnis, the calming spirit. How do we have the spirit be a part of our well-being, and how do we bring it into our health? And she says she believes her calling is bringing healing and shine light into places where pain, fear, and darkness have taken hold. It has been about the thread woven for her entire life, the work that she was created to do, whether through massage therapy, Reiki, energy healing, intuitive guidance, or simply holding a compassionate space. Her purpose is to help people reconnect with hope, awaken their innate capacity to heal, and remember that they are far more resilient and whole than they may believe. Every session is an invitation to quieten the noise, restore the balance, rediscover the wisdom that already lives within them. Her life's work has always been to carry light into that dark spaces until others can see their own light again. There is no greater privilege, she says, than witnessing someone feel lighter, stronger, and more peaceful and deeply connected to themselves. She is the founder of Ruth's Healing Us, where she dedicated her life to helping and restore other people's balance, hope, and reconnect to their authentic selves. She's a licensed massage therapist, Reiki teacher, intuitive energy practitioner, and she weaves both together the therapy, massage, Reiki, cranioscopy therapy, I know I'm always saying that wrong, reflexology and sound healing, aromatherapy, and restorative modalities to create deep and personalized healing experience. She has a compassionate heart, a calming presence, intuitive insight, and she believes that healing begins by addressing the whole person, mind, body, heart, spirit, and soul. And so let's find out today how she actually came across this, why this is important to her to heal others. And generally, when it comes across that we find that purpose is to heal others, it's because we had to heal ourselves. And in healing ourselves, we understand so important why we hurt, why we had to heal, and why we're here to help others heal. So welcome to the show, Ruth.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much. So that was a lovely introduction. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And, we have the L in front of you, Ruth, there, but I don't know what the L stands for. So please do tell us.
Well, it actually stands for Luann. It's a name that was given to me by my mother, and I highly cherish it. When I was in my early 20s, I had a spiritual experience with a very good friend of mine who kept calling me Ruth one night, and she said, I don't know why, it's just falling out of my mouth 20 times that evening. And we thought, let's look it up. Let's see, what does the name Ruth mean? And I was brand new in my Christian walk at that time. I was walking with the Lord, and I looked it up in a Strong's Concordance, and it said that Ruth meant loyal friend, faithful friend. And when I read those words, it was how I've always seen myself internally. And for the first time, I felt God himself was bearing witness to my soul and saying, I see you too. And then I took the name on as my spiritual name because it had such meaning for me. Yeah. And then when I went to take it on legally, because my husband, who wanted to marry me, said that he felt a strong desire to call me Ruth. And at the time that he did, I was working as a waitress. And in that profession, you introduce yourself, your name to your table. I'll be waiting on you, whatever. Yeah. And every time I said my name, Luann, it just felt off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me if he could call me Ruth, and I said, you know what, I think it's time. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to my boss and I said, would you mind if I called myself Ruth? He said, I'd love it, because he hated double syllable names and he needed me stat. He wanted single.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right. So I got confirmation there. But my mother, well, that was another story.
Mm.
It really tore her apart. And I told her, that name, Luann, will always stay very special and precious to me. It has a very deep meaning as well, and you will be the only one I will allow to call me that. So,
Right.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
and
how
that's
that.
honoring her, but also honoring yourself, right? It's I changed my surname. I thought, well, I'm no longer married. Why am I carrying that married name? And I didn't want to go back to my single name. And so my mother had opened up a dress store called Sarah Troy when I was a child, and so I decided to change. A numerology, it worked. All the numbers and everything else worked in my favor, so I became Sarah Troy. And sometimes you've just got to follow what makes sense to you. How we identify, and um, because then it just feels more of a connection, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and I looked at both my numerology for my birth name
Mm.
and for my married name. Interestingly enough, it does show an alignment with my youth and my adult life, and it
Right.
lined up with me perfectly. So yeah, I love
And
that.
that's kind of part of, we're all in on a journey to find our meaningful purpose, and then whom do we serve, and how do we serve them. And so our life is busy showing us, sometimes through trial and tribulation, sometimes from illumination, but it's showing us, what our abilities are. And very often that comes through necessity, or comes from the nudge nudge wink wink, or the cosmic 2x4, depending if we're paying attention or not. And then it leads us on a path where we kind of, now I understand. So what was your journey in embracing energy healing and Reiki, which is energy healing? Did you have your own experience with it that then led you down this path, or was it something that always intrigued you?
I certainly did have my own experience. So, just a backdrop to who I am. As a child, I was very sensitive. I was the one that wore my heart on my sleeve, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
knew my emotions because it was written on my face. And I was born into a family where the emotions were not something that were easily digested, because my mother was raised in a family where her mother and her father were extreme alcoholics, and they were very abusive. So loud emotions were
Yeah.
always hard for her. So here she has this child, this daughter. Um, she wasn't expecting me. I was not expected. And I'm the
Surprise.
emotional one. And she's like, how do I take care of this kid? I don't know what to do with her. Ah! So, but as a result of that, having sensitivities, I sensed energy at a very young age, but I had no one around me to tell me what that was
Mm-hmm.
about or to
Mm-hmm.
help me understand it and work with it. As I got older, I started doing things where, um, so I could hold a item in my hand that belonged to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I could sense their whole story and tell
Yeah.
them their story.
Yeah.
And it became a parlor trick of sorts with
Yes.
my friends, my teenage friends. They take it to Ruth. Let's see what she
Yeah.
can do with this. And that was when I was very young, early teens. It was something that wasn't acceptable, though, in the
Yes.
circles that I ended up moving in, which was the Christian circle. I
Mm-hmm.
highly value my Christian experience, but that walk was like 30 years long,
Mm-hmm.
and in the church, and I loved everything about it, with the exception of a few things.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to say everything was beautiful, beautiful. There were some hard things in there, lessons I had to learn about people and
Mm-hmm.
dynamics and how people operate with each other, and also about God.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good experience, although hard. And it also caused me to suppress the free spirit that I am.
Right.
Because I didn't have any guidance there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then the guidance came through the church, and it was a lovely guidance for the time that it was, but it was still restricting to who I was.
Right.
And when my husband and I married and we moved to Salt Lake City, I was going through, I had my second born in 2001. The world was falling apart, literally.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my lifetime that I saw anything so dramatic. And I was aware of my patterns in life that were sabotaging, self-sabotaging. And I thought, what do I do to change this? And Oprah at that time was talking about, she had an interview with a guy and he was talking about a pendulum and how a pendulum can open up that subconscious mind of yours, right? And I was like, I'm like, oh, okay, what's this about? And mind you, I'm coming out of the church at this time, very slowly. I'm coming out, and it's still very unsettling for me because that's what I kind of walked away from to walk in Christ.
Yes.
And then I had some hardships in the church that opened my eyes and made me make a decision for a new direction in my life. And so I did that, and then I found this in the Yellow Pages. It was a place called Life Management Academy or something like that. Anyway, I went to them, and the lady there, she was fascinating. She has a whole story, and I'm not going to go into it, but she was fascinating. I walked in. I was going in to see what I could do to do hypnosis to get to that subconscious mind. Because if my subconscious mind is sabotaging me, I want some help. And I had learned that hypnosis would help with that.
Right.
So I went to her, and the moment I walked in and I saw her face, I started to cry. I just started to cry. And she was like, okay, we can't do any hypnosis with you till we do some emotional clearing. Right. So that was the first time I had ever heard anybody say we need to do emotional clearing. This coming from me, a Western psychologist mindset. Right. Because that's where I thought I was supposed to get my help. And I never got my help in this Western psychologist mindset. And that just never worked for me. Right. It just reiterated the problem again and again, never gave me an out.
It's like worrying a soul.
Yeah. Didn't give me a direction that I could fix this. But the hypnosis thing made more sense. But she said, we can't do that till we clear the emotional that's going on with you. So she started doing, she asked my permission to do specific treatment, and I gave her permission. I was open. And that led to her asking me if I'd ever had energy work done. And I said, no, but I had been reading a book by Donna Eden called Energy Medicine with the meridians and how you can impact the meridians. I was brand new at reading that book. And so that was the only thing I knew about energy medicine. Well, she said, do you mind if I do any energy with you? I said, sure. So she starts to come towards my body with her hand, and I immediately immersed in this presence. And I said, oh, that's the Holy Spirit. She laughed out loud because I came out of the church. In the church, I understood the presence of God and the Holy Spirit and the non-denominational whole thing. So she laughs. She says, oh, that's funny. She says, everybody calls it something to their understanding. Right. But yes, it's universal life chi prana. I was like, oh, okay, this is new terminology. So she signed me up right there for a Reiki circle. And I went and had an experience on that table that I could not mentally explain away. Yep. Nobody was physically touching me, and my body there was a muscle in my back that just let itself go. And I was like, what was that? And no one was touching me. They were just applying this wonderful thing called Reiki. And so I signed up, went to the course, and in that time, frame, I became a level 2 practitioner. I went home to California to see my mother, who had type 1 diabetes, had just had her leg amputated because a podiatrist intern used an unclean scalpel or clipper on her
Yeah.
toenails, caused gangrene. So she still had this massive pain in her phantom limb.
Yes.
And I asked Mom, can I give you some energy? I'm practicing, I'm learning this thing, and I would love to share it with you. And she said yes. She was on massive drugs and painkillers just to deal with it. The moment I went in to do the work, she said, oh, I can feel your hands, while I was in her limb. And the next morning I flew home. She called me. I don't know what that was. I don't know what you did, but I didn't have any pain all night. I didn't need my pain medicine. Will you do something with this with your life? She was always worried I wouldn't have a career. Would you please pursue something? You have a gift, and I want you to pursue this. So when my mother passed away, I took my inheritance. Excuse me as I get choked up at this, because it always does. And I went back to school and honored that call in my heart and that affirmation from my mother, and I began my practice. So that was a long story to get here, but
No. That's the thing, is that it's never a shortcut. In many ways, it's you paid attention to the nudge and the wink, not the cosmic 2x4. And so many people have to have that cosmic 2x4 to awaken, to the gift that they are. Believe me, I'm one of them. And I completely relate about the spirituality, because I was born Fae, come from a Fae family. I would see dead people, play with them. And I wasn't objects. I could look at people and see a story or something they needed to know. I was the download, the knowingness, what people needed to know when they needed to know it. And I had no idea what I was telling them, as a child, but just sharing something and not even knowing where it was coming from. It was just coming out. And so I never knew or understood my spirituality. All I knew is that I was different. And so therefore kind of treated different. I was also a very sickly child. So a lot of being in bed for weeks on end, and so having to dimensional travel, so not to go crazy, right? So bleeding of worlds. And so for, then, as you said, be careful who you tell, because then as you step into it, the white coats coming to get you, right? Because, I'm 71, so that generation was like, it was either a cult or it's something evil, because the church didn't want anybody to know they could have a direct line, right? So, and as far as the pendulum is concerned, I had somebody who removed 172 lifetimes from me. And then later on, another 70 lifetimes were removed from my tissue through Reiki, through energy healing. And so it's so incredibly powerful. If we can get out of our own head, all right, and trust that divine energy in the right hands, it can set us free.
Right
it can put us on the track of where we're meant to go and what we're meant to do. But half the time we're in programming, right? We're in doctrine. And, this last week I had two very religious people on, talking about their God from a different perspective. For me, it's God, universe, source, energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it. For me, I call it the universal energy. But it's all that trusting in that higher power, that higher energy. We're all particles of that. And all it's doing is igniting those particles within us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what it's doing. And so it's in a lot of ways scientific. Right? So it's like science and spirit have emerged to actually understanding what each one of them are. But you've still got, old doctrine holding on, which is more a form of control than it is of freedom.
Right. And it's based in fear, because what we don't know, we are most afraid of, right? Our knowledge becomes that seat of power for us.
Right.
And if we don't know it, ooh, better stay away from that.
Exactly.
And my encouragement is, no. Get to know it.
Exactly.
Explore that. Don't be
Take the
afraid.
divine energy with you, the common sense sphere with you, and be wondrous. Be enthusiastic about, what's this? What am I meant to know? And immerse yourself in it. It's surrender to allow. Allow yourself
Yes.
to be shown, to see.
Mm.
I just had on this morning, would be the same week as you, a lovely lady I interviewed back in 2018 who is virtually blind. She only has half an eye's vision, but she's written a book. She does martial arts and teaches it. She got her teacher's degree, and she's an artist. But all she can see is one tiny little section or one word at a time, right? But all the things she's done to just go through it, and it's like literally rewiring the brain,
Yes.
rewiring the neurons. And it's people think we can't do that, but we rejuvenate all the time, and the
Yes.
energy helps us rejuvenate.
Totally. Yes. And that's the key, is the energy helps us.
Yeah.
Those are the key words. And that's why I tapped into energy healing, because I knew it was the answer to help me with all of the baggage I came into this world with, into
Right.
this lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's helped me tremendously. Yes. Not just heal others, which I did. I ended up taking it into a career with massage therapy. I went to massage school, and I've been practicing now for, since 2008, so whatever that is. My mother always had to tell me how old I am, because I don't want to take the time with the math. I could
It's
do it.
28 years.
Yeah, a long time,
Although,
right?
no,
Yeah,
2008, yeah, we were at, or is it 22 years? One of the, I'm same with you.
yeah. It's about 22, yeah,
Mhm.
approximately. So
Yeah.
I've been practicing massage and energy healing. My biggest thing was energy healing, but I wanted to also do massage because I love touching people.
Right.
And to touch people, you have to have a license in Utah, where I'm from,
Right.
where I
Right.
live now. And so I had to get that license. But I loved all the things that I learned about the human body
Right.
and the experience of going through that. I'm a learner first and foremost. I'm insatiated. I want to learn all that I can learn, right? That's
Right.
just who I am. Have you ever heard of Clifton Strengths? It's
No.
so Gallup here in the United States has a strengths assessment test,
Right.
and they use it mostly in corporate businesses. But I had a mentor who used it in network marketing and also in personal therapy for yourself, and learning who you are so that you can be the entrepreneur that comes from your strength.
I
And
do that with True Colors.
do
Myers and
you do?
Briggs True
Yes,
Colors,
I
yes.
heard you talk about True
Yes.
Colors
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's the same similar idea, although they've taken these assessments, and there's 4 domains, and there are like all the different strengths that go through them. I want to say there are 30. Yeah, there are 34 strengths, or talents, I should
Right.
say, in 4 domains. And my domain is relationship building and strategic thinking. And how I do my relationship building strengths is all of my strategic is in the first 5 strengths. So we've got
Right.
the top 10 of those strengths are where we shine. The
Mm.
bottom 30 to 34 is where we kind of stumble around. We have the strengths, but they're not our strong suit.
Right.
So basically, I am a strategic relationship builder.
Mm.
So I'm always, my number one strength is input. I'm always gathering information.
Yes.
So I will always have something to give to people. I will always know where something is, so I can go to it with ease. And then
Yeah.
I'm a learner, and I'm an intellection. My number 5 strength is high intellection.
Mm.
So I got it. What that means in terms of Gallup's strengths is there is no end to knowledge.
Right.
I know there's more, and I know there's more meaning to be gleaned from anything I come in contact with. There's always a deeper
I'm on this
side.
side where I'm out of human design. I'm a manifesting
Manifesting
generator.
generator, yes.
Yes. Yeah. And
Yes.
in the true colors, I'm a screaming blue. So very much kind of the wind and intuitive. I have to feel it, and for me, it's understanding the wisdom to understand the knowledge, not knowledge for knowledge sake, to understand how the knowledge is relatable in that moment that you need it. So that clarity, right? So
Right.
it's, and that's kind of where you're trusting into the energy. There's a couple of things that you said, but one of the things I just want to mention, Who Moved My Cheese? Spencer Johnson.
Ah, no! My husband and I love that
Yeah,
book.
it's, and you know, especially as a True Colors coach, it's 4 key personalities and their reaction to loss, right?
Yes.
And that is
Yeah.
so apropos to kind of the true colors and personality traits. And I always believe that you need to know what your human trait is to understand your soul's purpose.
Exactly. And my human design is projector. I have the
Right? Oh, very
4-6
rare.
path.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am definitely in alignment with my strategic patterns of intellection, input, and learner. Those are
Right.
my
And
3 powerhouses.
I'm not an academic learner. I am a downloader.
Yes, I'm a downloader as well.
So
I'm
I'm a downloader all the time, and I'll understand what I need to know when I need to know it. And so I don't learn traditional ways. I learn through it coming through me and doing or becoming or sharing, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I have found that that's my forte as well, and far more where I live. The formal learning of the massage school,
Right.
that was a lot of fun for me because, well, it tapped into the intuitive aspect of me that
Right.
gets the downloads. So
Yes.
when I'm on a body and I'm ministering to that body and giving that body what it needs and is asking from me, I am tuning into my canvas and I am creating something of magnificence.
But you're doing something with your hands that a lot of people don't understand. They think massage is heavy fingers. It's actually a lot of the time the palm.
Yes.
Right. And it's understanding, because I have fibromyalgia and my fascial pain. And I used to have this wonderful woman. She'd have me, okay, can you touch your toes? No, this is out, that is out. She'd know where my chi is blocked.
Yes.
And she would go in with her flat hand and just release it, you know, with the energy, just release it. And it kept me out of pain and kept me supple for so long. Unfortunately, no longer around. I haven't found anyone to replace her. But that was, it wasn't about which I've had people do damage, but that taking that beautiful energy from your hand that you're downloading and just harnessing it into the body. And it doesn't have to be a hard touch, right? It just
Exactly.
so much more energy goes into the body that way.
Yeah, I have veered away from deep tissue just because I know I can get more done energetically
Exactly.
with my
Yes.
hands than I can with my muscles. And
Right.
I'm also saving my body because my
Yes.
body mechanics were desperately needing my assistance. So I moved more towards energy. So I'm a retired massage therapy partially. I still give massage. Like there's a 1 or 2 people that I will give massage, but they're more aligned with my gentle touch.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And the thing about Reiki is that you can do it anywhere. You can do it through online. You can do it anywhere, because energy is not something you plug in and it only powers, you know, that stratosphere. Energy is free like the wind, and it can go anywhere that you intend it to go.
Exactly.
Right? So,
And you know what I
we're
like
drawn
about
to people
Reiki?
because of their energy.
Right. And what I like about Reiki is because I've been practicing it so long, I can tell when Reiki turns on in my hands without me even calling on the symbols or the
Right.
activation. It'll activate if somebody needs it. And I'm
Yes.
right there and I'll say, do you mind, would you like me to give you some Reiki? And
Mm.
oftentimes the answer is yes, and oftentimes there's a result of healing.
Right.
I have a lot of animals that come to me
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
ask for my help.
Oh,
And
excuse me, just over there. Can you grab that?
yeah, can you tell my owner that my stomach hurts right now? Or
Yes.
can you tell my owner that I really need to get in to see the vet because I've got this growth here, or I've got this arthritis? I had a dog on our trip up at Annie's Creek Snow Park up by the Crater Lake that came to me one morning, the morning we were packing to go down to Crescent City, and he insisted that he needed something from me, but he wasn't saying that he was hurting himself physically, but he was emotionally distraught
Yeah.
about something.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any people around. So I knew he needed to be reunited with his person or his
Mm-hmm.
people. And we could, it took us hours. The lady finally found him with us because he
Mm.
wouldn't leave us.
Mm.
Because he knew that if he stayed, she'd find him with us.
Right. Yeah.
And
You'd send the beacon out.
right, and it wasn't for his sake that he was distressed. It was for her.
Exactly.
She was having some health issues. And so when
Right.
she came, I was able to share with her what I saw, what
Mm.
I believed she needed. So I got the downloads too. Then I never understood why I was telling
Yeah.
people this with such conviction, you know.
Yes.
But oftentimes it would come about that they would thank me that they needed to hear this.
We had a little bit of background sound going on here, and she thought perhaps a hearing aid, so her hair is up so that it's not in the way. So if you're suddenly looking at her going, hair up, now you know why. So do you find actually that sometimes your energy kind of has a peak around certain people or certain situations
Hmm.
that, it kind of
Yeah.
can fry people around you?
Yeah, I have had to learn how to temper a lot of what I do, and I go silent very quickly if
Mm-hmm.
if I'm noticing people are getting uncomfortable or whatnot, and I just have to, like, if the situation is one that this message needs to get to this person, but somebody is with us that is having an overwhelm with the energy, I'll
Yes.
make a point to get their information and connect with them somewhere along the line so that the
Right.
message can be had.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that we know what it's like to live in this energy, and your gift is physical, mine is emotional. I've had people where all sorts of things going on in their life, and we have accidentally crossed paths. I'm in the wrong place, and something has just happened, and I happen to say what they needed to hear. But that's how it's always been throughout my life. So it's always emotional or mental, or spiritual, around that way. I don't feel the physical pain, but I can feel the physical sorrow. So not body
Yeah.
pain, but sorrow and despair. I can
Hmm.
feel that. And, each one of us is gifted,
Hmm.
what our purpose is, and it's up to us to discover it and to use it. But we're all part of the same orchestra. We just have different instruments. And
Exactly.
when you actually get everyone playing in harmony together, oh gosh, so transcending, isn't it?
Hmm. Well, let me just make some clarity here. I also get the emotional and spiritual
Mm-hmm.
information and download. So I'm tapped into physical, mental, emotional, soul, spirit when I'm engaged with people. So I get a full spectrum of information pieces. Um,
Getting in the full X-ray.
yeah, it's really something else. Sometimes it's like, wow. And sometimes I don't get any information
Right.
in the way that I would expect it to come. And it'll just come out of left field, and I'll have to ask questions. Is this going on,
Right.
with you? Because I'll be asking myself, is that real?
the
So
mixed message type of thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, a lot of
And
times.
people don't realize sometimes, you know, that if something is demanding of your energy, of actually, you know, how tiring it can be. I mean, we're living in this beautiful divine energy, but when it's required to kind of be turned up, and the end of the frequency being turned up, it can be quite draining, and we do need time to recharge.
Yes, and I do a lot of my own recharging. I retreat a lot. So I do spend a lot of time alone just to recover my own energy and hear my own voice. Because I do
Mm,
hear everybody else's
yeah,
information. It's a information highway that's constantly traveling through.
right.
Are you still hearing
No, no,
problems or
no,
everything is
that's
good?
much, much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, the other question is that coming from a Christian background, do you find you come across people who are at the crossroads in Christianity, kind of realizing they need more, or they've been woken up, and like
Yes.
you're, you know, they target you, they don't know why, but because you've, you know, got a foot on both sides, you understand.
Yes, I have had that. Yeah. But not so much anymore. I did in the beginning
Hmm.
when I was learning about my gifts and transitioning. Now and then I will come across somebody who's struggling with their faith message that they're in and with their lived experience. And so I love faith in people's lives to um, journey through life with because it's an important piece
Mm.
of our journey is to find faith,
Yes,
whatever way that looks.
yes.
But we're always struggling with the outside information coming in
Hmm.
because we have that inner knowing and adjusting ourselves to the outside message to what's actually happening in here is very, it can be very tearing to
Yeah,
us, right? And when we come into our understanding that, wait a minute, I'm embodying a different reality than what you're telling me my reality should be.
yeah,
And then when that conflict happens, it throws everything into a paradigm that we are then faced to answer the question of.
right.
Right? And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
This is just the process of going through this life's journey and finding our own voice, our
What I
own
found
speaking.
interesting lately is that, you know, I always find shows come to me in waves of the same. Like I've had a lot of religious shows lately,
Mm,
you know, kind of around Jesus Christ. And I'm not a church person. I'm not what I call the human religion. I'm the spiritual religion, right?
yeah.
But what I find is that, you know, they're very gung ho about it's Jesus Christ. And
Hmm.
that's okay, because that's how the universe speaks to you. It's giving you that identity. But when you break it down and take the name out of the equation, the experience they're having is the same that a spiritual person is having.
Hmm.
Is this, it's just being labeled. And I think if we could look at people and their different faith and understand the common denominator, the overwhelming feeling of guidance and compass and moral and everything else, that when it's true, I'm not talking about fake Christianity that we're seeing out there, I'm talking about true belief in a higher power. And when we, you know, hear everybody from their own different religions, we'll realize the common denominators. And we've all just been given a different gift to use, that may be under a different title. But fundamentally, it's all divine energy.
Exactly. And I think that too, if I may be so bold as to say, many times men and women, humanity, let's put
Yes.
it that way, for lack of, yeah, for staying politically correct here, humanity takes the messages of these inspired insights and understandings and glimpses into a higher realm of understanding and living and makes a religion out of it.
Yes. Or a
That's
cult.
that becomes the cult, right?
Yeah.
And then they use it to manipulate masses.
That is not God's message. That is not the divine message. That is not part of the orchestra I want to be a part of. That is human manipulation.
And I don't want nothing to do with it.
I don't want anything to do with
And
it.
most people who are walking this life for true heart experience and connection will see through it eventually.
Exactly.
And so I don't worry about it anymore.
Oh, I mean, we're obviously we're seeing it kind of on steroids right now, but it kind of reminds me of that movie Come Sunday, many years ago. And Chadwick, I can remember his surname, but he plays a black pastor in a big church, lots of money and people going through it. Come to Jesus, come to Jesus. And if you don't come to Jesus, you're a heathen, you're going to hell. And there was no negotiation. And then one night he's sitting there holding his baby who was crying, watching the Rwanda genocide. And it changed his perspective altogether. Yeah. And he started teaching something else, and they oust him out completely. And it's like, I remember interviewing with somebody once who was very religious, and I said, well, God is love. And he said, I disagree. And I go, what? And if God isn't love, and if we're not rising ourselves up to a God image, whatever we want to look at as love, then how can we be love, and how can we show each other love? No, it's about obedience. And I said, not my God.
Wow.
So, if you're stuck on the obedience, I think you're working for the other side, not God's side.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a hard line to cross. I do have to say I have had an experience with Jesus. And it was a very spiritual experience. I've seen his eyes, and they're beautiful. In a dream, they were the most beautiful. But the way that the church has taught about him, it is it's an all or nothing or ride or die type thing. And you either are in the club or you're not in the club.
Exactly.
And that was never his message.
Never.
And
no.
Yes, and while he said that, my people know me, my people will follow me. That's true. But he never, I don't
But
think
he was talking it as a
that
community.
Yes.
Yes. Not an organization.
Not an organization where it's us versus them or me versus you or any of that. And I think that those messages are unfortunately handed down by a misguided sense of, I would say, kind of like Saturn, who calls us to responsibility, maybe a misguided call to responsibility to a group. And I worry about that for the world, but it is not anything that I ascribe to or subscribe to.
Well, we see so many young people today. I've got 3 millennials, and none of them are church people at all. They're all conscious-based. Right, but each one of them use their consciousness for good, do no harm, and come at it from a different point of view. But I think we're seeing so many people leaving the church because they're tired of the fake narrative, and but where is the humanity? And that's what people are asking. Where is the humanity? And it's in a higher frequency. It's in a higher consciousness.
Right, and I never found my real center in the community of the church where I felt I belonged and I was accepted for who I was. I always was trying to find, where do I fit in this picture, and I could never see it. It never.
No, because you had to hide. You had to hide your gifts. You had to hide what made you.
Exactly.
For the fear of penalization. Or damnation. So
and the message was always a guilt-based one. For me, I was like, I could never overcome, I could never be better, I could never measure up to this God that I was learning to love and serve. I could never live up to that. And now I know I don't have to live up to anything. I know I'm just simply loved. I've always known that, because that is the message I received at the heart level.
Exactly.
Not at the mind level.
No, exactly. And I want people to stop thinking from the chin up and start feeling, from the chin down. Let the heart, soul, and spirit guide you. It will guide you. It will be your compass. It will be your morality. It will be your conscience. It will be your wisdom. It will be your clarity. It will be your purpose. but you've got to tap into that feeling, and that will show you where to go and what you need to know and how you need to use it. The moment we get into our head, we're into old doctrine,
Right.
and then we become slaves to it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And there's got to be rules set in place for
Yes.
society. I get that. There's got to
Yes.
be rules set in place for an office environment. We get
Common
that.
sense, common
Common
sense rules.
sense,
Yes.
and let's all be on the same page.
You're right.
I get that. And for me, that's what religion is it's teaching the society how to be on the same page with it. But that is not necessarily how we embody the Spirit of God or the Spirit of Christ in our lives necessarily. It's not by following these rules that are being placed upon us. It's about following the law that's written already there on our hearts.
Yes.
It's there. It's scriptural. It's out there.
Mm.
We've been told God has written his law upon the heart of man. So why are
And
we
the man
trying to
is the
tell
one.
each other what the law is?
Yes, exactly.
We
Yeah,
already have it. It's already
exactly.
there.
So got to learn to listen.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the spirit is the consciousness, the soul, and the spirit that
Hmm.
ignites the heart. Right,
Yeah.
that ignites the spirit interaction for the mind to have the clarity it needs when it needs it.
When it needs it.
It's the
Yeah.
human that has the heart. The
Hmm.
spirit doesn't. It has the wisdom. But when you put the two together and ignite them, oof, what a divine being you have. And we all
Yes.
have the potential to be in that beautiful divine being. If
Yes.
we could merge with our human and become the human being and not the humanoid, right?
Yeah. Right on. Right on. Exactly. And I still believe in miracles. Miracles
Oh,
happen
yes,
all the time.
absolutely.
I mean, when I was pregnant with my firstborn, I was in a very noisy building that I was going in to get the Baby Your Baby supplement program from our government to help me with getting ready for this brand new child. We didn't have a
Right.
lot of money in those days, and we were just doing what we could do. And I was told, pay attention, listen for your name, because when they call you, if you don't respond, you're not getting in. So I'm sitting there, and I guess my name had been called and I didn't hear it, but a man appeared in front of me in a long trench coat, and he said to me, called me by name, Ruth, they've called you. I looked up at him and I said, oh, thank you. And I gathered my things up, turned around, and that man was nowhere to be seen
Absolutely.
in that building ever. Nowhere.
Right. Uh-huh.
I was visited by an angel.
Uh-huh.
I believe that. That angel told me, go. And
Yeah.
as a result, I got the blessing of the money that we needed to bring this child in. So I
Yeah.
believe miracles still happen,
In small and big
in
ways. Everybody's
small
looking
and
for the
big
big
ways.
ways, but
Yes.
it could be the small way. It's just simply trusting your instincts. No, don't go down there, go this way.
Yes. And it's in
It's
those moments we become
yeah,
grateful that there is a higher being.
exactly. And
You know?
please listen, get out of your own way, right?
Yeah.
Allow,
Yeah.
because there is a reason for you to go down this path. And
Yeah.
sometimes it could be a bumpy path, and you go, why? And it's like,
Yeah.
because there's something for you to learn or something for you to teach along this way. Not every road has to be smooth. But then you
Exactly.
hear about something, and God, if I'd gone down there, I would have been there at that time. So it's I don't think this is where faith and trust comes into it. Of um, don't argue with the universe, don't argue with God.
Mhm.
They are so much wiser and see in such a bigger way that let's just trust them. I call it, stepping out into the abyss, blind, deaf, and dumb, in order to see, hear, and feel, and
Mm.
just allow. And then when you allow, anytime I'm asked to do something, if my compass, my core of my being says yes, I do it. If at all that core is going, I don't. And I don't need to verify or justify or anything else. But thank you very much. No, not for me.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
learned that when I trust that, I'm going the right way. If I go against that, wackaroo.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we got on this topic other than I wanted to say that by going through the experience of walking through faith the way that I did and walking away from that whole organized religion, my husband was still very much in it. I didn't, he didn't understand me. I was the woo-woo
Right.
and the woo-woo lady, and it was hard for him. It wasn't until 2020 when COVID hit, he started seeing through some things that he did not agree with, and it shook him up. And he said, I'm not going back to church. He stopped going, and then he had his own aha moments, eye-opening epiphanies, if you will. He was struggling with his health and decided that he needed to find a way to reduce his stress in life, and learned about Dr. Let me see, it's not doctor, but it's what's his name? Oh gosh,
It'll come to you in a moment when you're not thinking
I
about
can
it.
see his
I know.
face. I can see his face. I can't think of his name, but it is Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he started listening to Joe Dispenza, and I was like, what? And then he started listening to Esther Hicks, and I was like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
this is my husband.
He's waking up.
He's waking
Yay!
up. And then he started listening to Wim Hof, and Wim Hof taught him how to breathe. So now every day he has a breath work practice that has helped calm him down. And he's listening to all sorts of people. He's listening now to Ram Dass. I mean, he's opening himself up. And so
He's hungry now.
Now he's hungry, and now he's
Yeah.
listening. And he's also listening to me, and he's seeing things with me in a
Right.
brighter light. He
Right.
understands a little more of what I do. So just to get into a little bit of more what I do, I work with crystals. I am a crystal whisperer. They talk to me. They engage me. And I have learned as a result how to work with these lovely crystals in my practice. I work with the drum. I work with
Sound
this
vibration.
lovely, yes, and I work with the sound,
Right. The tuning fork.
tuning forks. I do a lot of this type of thing, essential oils. I will work with, we just recently purchased this table. It's called a Harmonic Fusion Wellness Table. This is from a lady that I met in Utah. She's an energy healer. She's lovely. Her husband decided that he needed to put this technology together and offer it to others, because they were coming and getting on her table and saying, how do we get a hold of this table? And no one had created this. He has taken 7 different technologies. We're talking about the negative ions. We're talking about 20 pounds of crystals in this pad.
Wow.
Has red light therapy, far infrared light therapy, far infrared heat. It has the PEMF. If you know anything about PEMF, it's been being used in hospitals for over 30 years to help with the healing of different body parts and limbs and different things like that. So we know that the PEMF is going to help our cells of our body and release the nervous system, so that parasympathetic flight,
the flight or fight,
it's going to calm everything down. So I just recently purchased one of her tables and we packed it and took it with us on our trip, and I'm sharing it with people. And they're experiencing this thing for the first time. So I use that in my home practice also. People can come and get on my table and they can experience this amazing
never mind
reset.
the experience of the health, of the well-being, but it is like once you release them of that, it's the awakening that follows.
Yes.
Right? I mean, how many people are trapped because they can't awaken because they're trapped in
physical body.
Yeah, exactly. And so once you release yourself from that, it is like now I now, all those things have been knocking on my door for so long, I can let them in. I'm no longer fearful. I can learn to understand why they're here instead of fearing them or they couldn't get through because there was too much mess to get through. So yeah, it's not just healing the body, it's awakening the heart and soul and the spirit so that it can step into its meaningful purpose.
Exactly. And I love my table because it's one of the things when we were beginning our trip, my husband had a lot on his mind, stressful things like we just talked about,
Right.
and that stress was blocking him from
Yeah.
being a very nice person. And I was reacting to that. And once we got him on the table, it shifted everything. And now I don't know how to explain it. It's like if you're exhausted
Mm-hmm.
and you get on that table for 30 to 40 minutes, it's like you've had a full night's sleep when you get off of it. You're rejuvenated, refreshed, and just set back in order. Your mind, your body, everything feels better.
You're turning your energies and turning the frequency up to a more equilibrium, because
Mm-hmm.
our energy can get blocked. Right.
Exactly.
And everything else can become a screaming pitch. And so when you're in the right frequency wave, which energy travels on, it then becomes equilibrium. It aligns things, it soothes things up, and it's the kind of energy you can ride on. But if you're
Yes.
getting that outside hysterical energy or anxiety energy, and this other energy is trying to break through and is interrupting with it, it causes conflict. So
Right.
bringing about the equilibrium of the energy and raising that frequency up to that higher level automatically becomes healing, but also brings clarity.
Exactly, exactly, completely. Like I have been having problems with my legs and my hips and down my knees and whatnot. To the point if I sitting long, if I get up, it takes a while for me to move. It's a
Yeah.
lot of pain. But since I've gotten this table and started using it, the pain isn't as bad. I'm able to get through my movement a lot faster. I'm getting up and down stairs now.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that over a period of time, every time I use this, my body is recognizing how to come back into that balanced state of homeostasis and then knows what to do to recover strength back to itself. And that's why I use all these tools,
Yes.
because they help us find our strength.
Yeah.
And I was uh, basically put on uh, antidepressants twice in my life.
Mm-hmm.
They helped, but I didn't want to be on them forever
No.
because of side effects and all the things. I just didn't want to rely on them. These have become my antidepressant.
Yeah.
These amazing. These are my best friends. I call them my
Mm.
best friends all the time. Lovely, lovely pieces of stone, and they're structured in such a way that our bodies recognize the structure and
Yeah.
know what to do with them. And you talk about the frequencies, the hertz, and all
Mm.
of the right frequencies. A normal, well balanced, whole organ, depending on the organ you're talking about, it can be the pancreas, it can be the kidneys, it can be any organ. When it is in its whole aspect and doing well, normally functioning, it resonates at a very specific frequency. They have
Right.
measured it.
Yes.
And one of the way that frequency doctors work is when they see that that measurement is not matching that frequency for wholeness. If it's low or too high, they know what to do and how to bring it into a
Right.
state of balance using their frequency tools.
Yes.
So this is the cool thing about stones. They have specific frequencies that
Mm-hmm.
they operate at depending on their color and their structure and where they came from in the world. And they impact our body to bring us wholeness. These tuning forks, the sound, I have a company that I am working with called Frequence, and they just recently, they're the
Yes.
only company out there, they just recently put out a product where they have these little hologram discs that
Mm-hmm.
are on their product, infusing it with 11 harmonic healing frequencies that are attuned by a $700,000 machine that are tuning
Yeah.
to those organs. So these are the kinds of things that I work with and I access and I bring to my clients. These are tools that I use. These are
I'm actually
objects.
using Rise. I'm using the roll-on nighttime
The
frequency, and
RISE and
yeah,
the roll on, the relieve, the
yeah, the
relief.
roll-on one. And what I've noticed is I have fibromyalgia, but I also have I can't remember what it is because it's a medical term, but like around the hip and the buttocks and down the legs, everything is out of sequence, and so it sends screaming pain down the leg, and the leg is restless leg all the time. Like it's like
Oh,
pins and needles, restless leg, and then they feel like lead, and you can't sleep because they hurt, and you can't do anything because everything hurts, right? And
right.
since I've been using that, it has been gradually reducing that and reducing it down. I mean, I still obviously have difficulty walking because I need some manipulation there, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it's calmed all that nervous system down. So I'm not walking around with screaming legs. And that's just simply the roll on.
Amazing.
I did have the 5 days of the juice, but I actually prefer these type of things, the roll-ons and things like this. But it
Hmm.
certainly has helped with my sleep and the pain level. So yes,
Yeah.
Stacey Hall is one I did a show
Oh, yes,
completely on
yes,
that.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Okay. I didn't realize I was, but it's one of the things that I do, that I
Yes.
offer for people if they want it. And I love the mushroom juice. Ah, I love
Uh-huh.
the mushrooms and minerals. They changed my life when I got
Mushrooms are
introduced to them.
incredible.
Mm,
You know, I got some ground up mushrooms right now myself, and it's like it's just incredible
hmm.
the health benefits of nature, but particularly mushrooms and various other things. Like beetroot, you know, people that will put on high blood pressure
Yeah.
things, you know, for cholesterol, take the
Oh,
beetroot. I take
yeah.
beetroot every single day, and it brought
Nice.
my cholesterol right down.
Right.
Nature, frequencies, sound, um,
Hmm.
smell, you know,
Yeah.
proper energy releasement, all of these things are what our body really does need. It doesn't need another
Hmm.
pill to pop. It doesn't need
Hmm.
you know, operation. Yeah, I've literally interviewed doctors who said they went holistic on their patients, and they were blacklisted because they were not
Hmm.
pushing drugs or procedures, and they were
Yes.
blacklisted out of state, and
Yes.
because they put their patients first with alternative. And is
Exactly.
it alternative? Actually, Western medicine is alternative. There's other stuff's been around since the beginning of time. It's just
Hmm.
that we've got more educated on how to use it now and understanding the science behind it. And, you
Hmm.
know, again, the more we understand the science behind it, the more we understand the spirit and the divine around
Yes.
it. And we realize that they dance together.
They do dance together. That is a lovely way to put that. They do dance together. I like that.
The
Yeah.
answers have always been there, but what we're seeing now is more understanding and making it more mainstream and understanding the benefits of it. If you can take a pill and it suddenly makes you better, okay, how did it do that? You know, generally causes gut issues on the way. But
Hmm.
if you can do a sound form with the fork or with the drum, so you can have some Reiki, you can take something else that changes your frequency and raises it up. The body has miraculous ways of how to heal itself. It
Hmm.
just needs help. It needs the
Yes.
right energy, the right frequency, and aromatherapy. It goes right to the spot that needs help,
Yeah.
right? It's amazing stuff.
I love to hear my clients say that, oh, wow, I have been struggling with that pain for weeks now and it's
Mm,
gone.
yeah,
And then they walk out. It's funny. They'll come in, they'll hug me because I'm the hugger, and
yes, me
everybody
too.
knows they can get a hug. And they'll hug me and there'll be this tension in their
Yeah,
body and I physically feel it. I'll get them on my table, I'll do my magic. That's what I call it. It's my magic.
yes, yes.
And then when they come off, they'll hug me again, and it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm hugging a marshmallow because they just totally release all that tension, and it's
Yeah,
lovely. It's lovely
yeah.
to hear their expressions and their experiences on my table. I love that. That's one of
And
my
what
favorite
you're doing
parts.
is just setting their energy free,
Yeah,
right? You know,
yeah,
it's we get ailments, it's blocked energy. You're setting that energy free to rise up to that healing frequency. And that's
yes,
what it needs. And we are fluid creatures. Our blood, our oxygen, our chi, our fascia all
hmm,
need to be, our thoughts all need to be in flow. When it
yeah,
becomes stagnant, that's when we develop problems. And
hmm,
so we need to keep things in flow, right?
yes, right, exactly. And one of the ways that I keep myself in flow is I love to play my drum.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tongue drum I play too. This is so creativity is something that we all have in us. It's where do you feel your creativity flowing from you?
Mm-hmm.
Tap into that energy and work with it often. You'll find inspiration, you'll find insight, clarity will
Yeah.
come much easier to you. Your body will let go of its stress and tension. Just like my husband learned how to
Yeah.
breathe in a way
Mm-hmm.
that his body no longer is making him sick. We can all do that. We all have that power within us.
Yeah,
That's the good
exactly.
news about this. And that's why I embarked upon this journey, was I wanted answers that I could self-advocate for myself. Now, there
Mm-hmm.
is nothing wrong with Western medicine
It has
when
its
it's
place.
in its place.
Yes.
But what has happened is there has become, unfortunately, this mindset that says it's the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true. We are
No.
seeing more of a movement towards a marriage, but it
Yes.
sure has been painstaking in its journey. And I don't think we're through it yet, because there are still some diehards there that don't want to allow for holistic ways.
Well, that's pharmaceutical. And
Yeah,
I had
that's
a
big
wonderful,
money.
big money.
Yes.
I had
Yeah.
a wonderful woman on who co-hosted, who had her own channel here called Wise Health for 5.5 years. And she was in her late 70s up into her 80s at that point. And back in her day, they used to call her Snake Oil Woman, because she'd be talking about Aveda medicine and pharmacy, FARM medicine, right? And so, of course, everybody just treated her as wacko and woo woo. And of course, now people are hungry for that knowledge, and she would impart it every week. And so it's been around from the beginning of time. It's just that, we lost sight of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, now it's kind of like we're being immersed back into it. And all those that are willing to experience it will truly then understand the empowerment and the power that it has.
Yes. And tapping into it for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
is the key to
Yes.
really empowering who we
Yeah.
are in the world. And we want to shine our light in the world. We want to share our light and our truth. And sometimes it's a hard journey to get there, because it can be a lonely road.
Oh, yes.
And we know that, right? Because not everybody is on the same road as we are on, or understands the road. I've had a few people come to me, like some that are just now entering their journey with energy, and they're beginning, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me help you, because there is I didn't have any help. I had
Right.
to learn all of this on my own. I had to
Right.
figure out how to, as an empath, as
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
clairsentient, I had to learn how not to feel everybody's feelings or hold
Yes.
it inside of my body.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And it's still a work in progress for me.
Yes.
I'm still learning how to release and let go. I have my tools, my
Mm.
black tourmaline every day.
Right.
Every night, I now spend time with my black tourmaline in
Mm.
meditation, and ask it to take energy that doesn't belong to me from me, because
Right.
I will carry everything in my body,
Uh-huh. Yes.
right? So
Yes.
learning to work with the stones, learning to work with whatever energy that you can work with to release out of your body the things we absorb. Energy healers and empaths are always absorbing. I'm
And
like
they
the
have to go.
beacon in the room. You walk
Yes.
in and you beeline to me because you
Yeah.
have a problem. If
Right.
you're going to come to
Mm-hmm.
me, and I've got to be ready. And I wasn't ready for so many years. I didn't understand why I was
Getting
carrying
flattened.
so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
and being
Yeah.
flattened, exactly. And it took education. It took me self-advocating and going through healing courses. I worked with Bear McKay, McKay Method Energy Healing School, and she taught me how to put that protective circle around myself. And right now, like I said, I'm into learning and growing, and right now I'm learning how to work with candle magic. I'm learning how
Mm.
to work with simmering pots and essences, and going out into nature and finding what nature is wanting to say to me through
Exactly. Yeah.
its, yeah. And for, I want to show this to you. I found this lovely piece yesterday.
Mm.
That's lichen on there, and then a little bit of the branch that was growing some of the tree right there. But isn't that a lovely piece?
Yes.
Now, the nature just put this right in front of me yesterday and said, please take this with you. We want to talk to you about some things. So I'm sitting with it in meditation. It sits on my altar, and I'm just waiting for its messages. And so, in finding what nature has to show us and what we can do, we've got these processes that we can learn from nature to release ourselves from undue, unnecessary stress. I went through a big change, and I know a lot of people did last year. It was the
Mm-hmm.
year of the snake,
Yes.
shedding of
Yes.
everything. Things that shed from my life I never thought would shed from my life did, and it shocked and disheartened me so much. I had a friendship that died in October, and I thought, how, why, what? Now, that friendship had taken a nosedive a year before,
Mm-hmm.
but then we reunited. And then this time, and before we reunited, that was devastating. My whole world fell apart when that happened. And I thought, what is this? And I had a hard time recovering. We then in
I've lost your
October,
volume. Oh, there you go.
then in October it died. And I thought, what is this? But this time I used this, I was learning this stuff, and I used a simmering pot to release the pain
Yes.
of not being good enough in the friendship, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
looked like on from her perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it led me down this road of working with my stones to release things. I wrote down her name and I released her to God's care. Then
Mm-hmm.
I had this amazing night of, you talk about sitting with a vigil over
Mm-hmm.
someone who has died. I was sitting vigil over the relationship and this person dying from my life.
Right.
And it didn't devastate me or take me out the way it would have
Right. Yeah.
and had been doing previously. So always learning new ways
Mm.
of releasing tension, releasing pain, releasing the mental, you know, stories we tell about ourselves or about others. I now have tools.
Yes, exactly. Just
I'm,
on, a side note, because it keeps saying to say it, Sarah.
uh-huh.
I have a grandson who's 3 years old who has Down syndrome. Whenever he hears any form of rhythm, whether it's speech or music, I've bought him bongos and drums. He doesn't hit them whack whack. He goes ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba bum ba ba bum, and his body is in movement. It's in with the music. He transforms. And if you want to speak to him, I sing to him and I tell him stories rhythmically. And he's not yet speaking, but he is so intuitive. He is like so smart. It's just obviously development in the Down syndrome. Everything comes a wee bit later. But it's just like, I know that this kid is here for a reason. One is to show pure love. I mean, they are so present in the moment. They don't harbor, they don't this, it's now love. But also that I really do feel with his energy that there's something special he's going to do. And I think that's the thing is, I put out a book a couple of years ago, Our Forgotten Children, which is an anthology around the raising of our children. They are our gifted children. They already come into the world in this beautiful essence of energy, right? And the more that we support that energy, the more that we keep their frequency up, the more that we keep them in flow with themselves, they are unstoppable of what they're meant to accomplish.
Yeah.
Stop trying to condition them into X, Y, and Z, and allow them, nourish them as to what they're meant to be.
Yes, yes, I agree with that. I have a friend in Utah, and her son has, I think, is on the spectrum with autism,
Yeah, he's on that spectrum too.
Brilliant,
Yes.
bright,
Uh-huh.
and beautiful. And I love this lady's way, I want to say, ministering to him
Mm.
and letting him minister to her and the world, because she puts it on her Facebook stories and she shows his brilliance. She shows
Yes.
her interaction with him. And, you know, yes, I believe they are our gifts and that we need to learn from them totally and
They keep,
completely.
people
Yeah.
keep demanding that they come into our world. No, our world is dysfunctional. They're there to show us there's another way.
Is
Right?
another way. I like that.
And a
Yeah.
lot of it is being present in the
Yeah.
gift of now, being present,
Yes.
right? And when
And
you're present, you're in alignment.
how do we bring ourselves present like they are present?
Yes,
We use our musical
exactly. We use our
instruments. We use
instruments.
our
We tune it.
soul,
For me,
our
music is
tuning
really,
fork.
really important. That's the
Yeah.
certain music, certain tones. If I am down, and I sometimes suffer from empathic depression when I've taken on too
Yes.
much, right? And
Yes.
so for me, I need to shut down and I just listen to music. And it's not the words I'm listening to, it's the music. And I find the frequencies change me. And it just
Yeah.
recalibrates me, puts me back in rhythm, puts me back in flow, and
Yeah.
then I'm able to embrace, right? So, for
Hmm.
me, breeze, trees, and water are essential. I'm surrounded by trees here. Like on Vancouver Island, there's trillions of trees. I'm less than a kilometer from the ocean, and we get a lot of breeze, which is
Wow.
always kind of blowing away the coppers and bringing in the clarity. And I feel so supported by nature.
Oh.
And we need to know, what is it that supports us? Are you a
Yeah.
swimmer? Are you a this? Are you a that? Are you a singer? Are you a dancer? What is
Yeah.
it that sets you free? What is it
What
that
sets you
releases you?
alight? Yeah.
Yes,
What sets
yes,
you on fire? Right.
yes. And
Mm.
do it. Who cares who's watching? Do it. Teach them something. Show them joy. Show them exuberance. Show them connection and life, and turn people up.
Yeah.
Switch on their volume.
Wow. When you said turn people up, that's fun. We have because we're RVers, we like to watch YouTube RVers that are out there
Mm.
RVing, and there's this one YouTube channel, Turn It Up World, and I just love this couple because they turn it up. They're fun. So we just
Life
sit.
is about living, isn't it? And
It
and
is.
when you find something you love doing, that you were designed to do, and you've stepped in
Hmm.
to that gift and you are doing it, it isn't a job. I mean, yes, we all need money, roof over head, food and stomach, etc. But it is something that you get up for every day, because it is a pleasure, it is a commitment, it is a passion, and it is a calling.
Yeah.
And you are compelled to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And we
Yeah.
may have many journeys on our path to getting here, but when we get here, we go, oh, okay, now I know why.
Yes.
But they're all about alignment within ourselves, right? That equilibrium. It's not necessarily balance of, I'm a Libra. It isn't about balancing the scale. It's about being in flow. That we don't
Hmm.
want extremes. We don't want extreme highs or extreme lows. We want to get into that rhythm of life, that we can go into that flow of life. And now and again, the crescendo goes up a little higher and you can come back down, but there's no crash and there's no sugar high. It's just a wonderful rhythm of life. And then
Hmm.
you just see how it expands out like a heartbeat and just grows vibrationally and just picks people up in its swirl, and it's wonderful.
I love it. I love the way you just said all that. It made me think. At the beginning of the year, actually at the end of last year, beginning of the year, I like to do the wheel of the year and
Mm,
do a tarot reading over that. And then I also like to take like I think it's like the last 12 days, and I like to take pieces of paper and write on there what I want to see in the next year.
yeah,
And then I fold them up, and each night, this is part of my candle magic, each night I will burn a piece of paper.
right.
And then
Send it up.
on the 13th night, the 13th day, I open the one that's left. I
Mm,
actually write 13 pieces of paper, 12 of them get burned, and on the 13th day, that's the one that I focus on for the year. That's my job. Everything else is in the universe and taken care of. I don't have to worry about those things that I want. They'll come to me as they
Yeah.
will. And the universe is taking care of it. And the 13th one, this one was, I am at peace with the rhythm of my becoming.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were talking about
Yeah.
the rhythm, it's when we get in the flow and the rhythm. And so that's been my whole focus this year, is finding the rhythm of my becoming and just settling into that.
Yeah.
Not worrying, not pushing,
Just being
not
in flow.
striving, just being in flow.
In flow.
Today, when we were getting ready, and I was getting ready to come on here, I had a conversation with my husband. And I didn't know what we were going to talk about, what this was going to look like. And I want to really come from my heart
Mm-hmm.
and not from up here. So I spent some time with my drum. I did a drum song and let it all go. And with about 15 minutes before, and then when we got on, I
Just
feel
be
like
present.
this has been
Mm-hmm.
a present moment, but the flow,
Yes.
between the two of us has
Right.
been so beautiful for me. So thank you. And I love that we both wear
Yeah, I know we're both wearing the same color,
greens.
which is so,
Yeah.
yeah, in sync completely. We
Isn't
both
that
got the
fun?
same spiritual memo.
Yeah.
I think that we can choose suffering, or and we can embrace struggling,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I choose not to suffer. I understand about struggling,
Mm-hmm.
but it's who I become through each struggle.
Right.
And what I learn about myself, the resilience, the tenacity, the strength, the calling, the meaning. And it's allowing yourself to go through that. The universe isn't out to get you. God isn't out to punish you.
No.
Right? Is giving you what it knows you can face. And what are you meant to learn from it? Who are you meant to become because of it? How can we be there for other people in understanding if we haven't gone through something ourselves?
Right.
And part of that is that growth of our own resilience, tenacity, exuberance, and just gifts of who we really are. And everything I've ever done in my life led me to what I'm doing now. But without going through all of that, would I be able to do what I do now? And so everything is for a reason. And you talk about words for the year. I ask the universe every year, what is my word? And they gave me anchor this year. And it is, so it was about anchoring.
I've been drawn to the anchor ever since we've been on this trip to Oregon. That's why that just got me excited. I got myself an anchor shirt. I got myself an anchor little thing. I'm anchor. And mermaids. Okay.
Well, mermaid, yeah, the wisdom. Yeah.
I'm getting into the mermaid. I don't
But
know
you
why.
see, being an air sign and being a very kind of cosmic person, I literally cannot walk on earth bare feet. I feel all her sorrow, right? So I can't do that. So I'm not an earthling. I'm a spiritual being having an earthling journey for a reason, right? So for me to actually trust the anchoring this year, right, is very, very important. It's saying take all the vision that you want to do. This is the year to anchor it, to seed it, to root it, for it to start taking shape.
So you're now in that space where you're having to make a conscious connection with the earth. Is what it sounds like to me.
Yes, but I can do that better if I'm in water.
I understand.
Water's a conduit.
Mermaid.
Yeah, exactly. And water is a conduit, and for me, water is something I literally could go to sleep on the water, just lying on there. Right?
Yeah, but the earth holds the water, honey.
That's the thing. The actual earth, she's screaming at me, will you get these humans off my planet? But in the water, it's that buffer of the water. I've got you, but this is the message. So even in the shower, I do a lot of EFT tapping. Right, and I love doing it in the shower because it's the meridians again, right?
Yes.
I'm speaking to, although and releasing or kind of something you desire. But it is, again, going back to what is it that makes you feel comforted or safe that you can springboard from. And some people, I go for a walk in the forest, the trees talk to me. They're not talking to my head or my intellect. They're talking to my soul, my spirit, my heart. That will translate into the message. It's not for me to know, what do you mean? it will manifest itself in a choice that I make. Right?
Yeah,
That the trees
exactly.
have such wisdom. I mean, if we could be
Yes,
like
they
a
do.
forest, they don't care what tree you are, if you're dead or alive, life comes from you, right? You know, the old ones protecting the young ones. If we could be like a forest as human beings, we'd be so much better. The
I,
matrix of them all talking to each other.
I'm finding that the forests and the birds are all talking to me lately.
Yes.
I mean, literally, we went up to Bryce Canyon in the April, May, and went up to the rainbow overlook. It was just beautiful. But this ponderosa tree drew me in
Mhm.
and then told me to pay attention as a crow was flying by and told me, watch that bird, it has a message for you today.
Mhm.
And I thanked the tree, and then we went over and looked at the overlook and the beautiful rocks and everything. And then the sky was cloudy, and I was like, I really want to see the sun on that mountain. You've got these spires and these rocks that are beautiful orange, and they have, you know, white in them too. There's just varying degrees of color. It's just
Like a
beautiful.
flaky pastry.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And I wanted to see the sun on this one mountain. And it just wasn't happening. My husband was ready to roll, and he was trying to get us to go. And I was like, and I just prayed and asked that the sky would open up and give me what I was asking for. And my husband was starting to make the drift, and I said, all right. So I start walking. And that bird, I kid you not, that bird flies over my head with a pine cone in its beak. And it said to me, it said, where are you going? Didn't you just ask for something? It's
Exactly.
coming.
Where's your
Wait.
patience? Yeah.
Wait. So I told him, I can't go. So we went back, and sure enough, the clouds parted, the sun shone down on that mountain. I took all the pictures. Later, when I was looking at the pictures, it had in the rock the shape of a heart. Now, I'd seen the shape of the heart before, but what I didn't see next was there was a shape of the heart, and then a 4 was next to it, and I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, I'm forgetting it. But anyway, there was a message in there.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to get that message
Right.
from that rock, but it was because that ponderosa reached out to me that I had the alert to pay attention to the bird. Then when I was ready to leave, I was being told you got to wait for the answer to your request. You cannot move too soon. You
Right.
must
Universe works on different
have
timing.
faith and
Yeah.
believe and wait and watch, and it will come to you. Just trust. It was all about trusting. So you talk about having a conversation with the trees. They talk to your soul, your body, your heart. They may not, to me, the words form. They do definitely form in my
It forms in
thinking.
pictures for me.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
movie.
Like a movie, yeah.
Mm.
It's like you can't deny the message. It's there. But yes, our trees have so much, and we're surrounded right now. We're on a farm, and it's called the Black Moon Farms in Bandon, Oregon. Lovely place. He grows cranberries and blueberries, and he also does chestnuts. And then he's got, and they're all in the stores. And then he's got some sheep on the property. But the trees. We're like in this forested area. It's so lovely. There is a peace and a calm
Yeah.
that you cannot experience anywhere else but with these trees. They're just
That's the reason I
amazing.
live on Vancouver Island. There's over 1 trillion trees here. The whole island is trees and water like this. I don't know how many lakes we have, hundreds. And then we have the ocean all around us. And then just trees, trees, trees. So, and plenty of breeze because you're always near the ocean. And so it's, you know, my other 2 children live on the mainland. And I go over and see them, and it's wonderful to see them and see friends and da 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 da, because I lived there 37 and a half years. I get back on that ferry. And it's like, going home. And when I get home, it's like the island is welcoming me.
Oh,
Everything is welcoming back. And it's just so peaceful, and just supportive.
yeah. And that's the feeling I get with the trees too, is there's just this, there's support, there's strength,
Yeah.
there's messages, there's knowledge that they carry within them. And if we'll just take the
Eons and
time to be
eons of
with them,
wisdom. Yeah.
yeah, and
Ah,
just listen and just
mm.
be with them. Yeah, it's
I think
beautiful.
there's a great deal to be heard in silence. A
Mm.
great deal to be. I can't meditate like meditation because I'm ADD. So I have to give my mind a job. It's got to go off and do something so I could be a blank slate.
Mhm.
And then in that blank slate, what will be revealed will be revealed. But I can't meditate because it's cha 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 cha. So I have to give it a job so that the other side of me can receive the message. Unless I'm in nature, and then it's different.
Yeah, there is something energetically that shifts everything when you're in nature
Yeah.
that's so unexplainable. I have ADD too, and I have had to train myself to be
Mm-hmm.
still and to be quiet. And
Mm-hmm.
my brain likes to have a job to do too. And so
Mm-hmm.
in those times when I can't get still and quiet just by choosing to be, which I've trained myself to choose to be, which I can get there really easily. It wasn't always that way though. It took practice.
Yeah.
But when my brain wants something to do, I give it something to do.
Yes.
I make it count my breath.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And then it gets so bored with counting my breath. Then it's kind of like when I'm playing this drum, when I get this drum out and I play it,
Like a heartbeat.
it stops, there's silence.
Yeah.
And you physically feel it. So it
Yeah.
becomes an embodiment to you. And when you can recognize the feeling of that silence from the drum,
Mm-hmm.
and it calms everything down, then you know what silence feels
Yeah.
like. And you and I are feelers,
Mm-hmm.
clairsentient. When we go into the feeling, the brain doesn't get involved anymore because we've
Right.
gone into the feeling. So
Yes.
this has trained me a lot with
Mm-hmm.
feeling silence. So I'm a feeler, so I have to feel everything.
Nothing makes sense unless I feel it.
Right. So this is how I've trained my brain
That's
to
good.
have something to do to get to the place where I feel the silence and then I'm silent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know what silence feels like. I can go there a lot easier. So
Yeah.
that's how I've trained myself with this.
I like just sitting and doing nothing, and not necessarily even thinking anything, just being still. And a lot of people, well, aren't you bored? No. I'm just, and all, maybe all sorts of visions will overlap each other. And it's okay. It's just you're kind of downloading whatever it needs to download to what really needs to be absorbed, but just letting it happen, not getting caught up in it, just
Mm-hmm.
being present with it. And then, sometimes Fred will be, you need to know more about this, or because I'm a very detailed storyteller in my head, right down to color, smell, taste, everything.
Oh.
um, but you learn. I mean, I only found out I was ADD a couple of years ago. I've been dyslexic all my life, but it's you learn. We're taught that these are disabilities, and I think no, they're actually gifts. And it's just like any gift, there is a responsibility, and there is the knowledge of learning how to use it. And when you trust the divine wisdom to show you ways in which to use it, then you actually do truly see the gift of it, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not the head telling you the gift, it's the heart, soul, and spirit showing you what the gift is and how to use it. The head will always have conflict, right?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's an understatement, but yeah.
Busy fighting each other, whereas, the heart, soul, and spirit knows exactly that you've been given this ability to be able to see things in 3D or this, that, etc., for a reason. And I think that's, we need to push against society that starts saying, well, you don't fit in that box, so therefore you're defective. No, I'm gifted by God's design. It's for me to understand what the gift is, how to use that gift, not compare it with somebody else, because everybody else has their own gift. This is my responsibility. How am I meant to use it? Exactly. Whom am I meant to use it for? This is the only thing I'm responsible for.
Right. Yes. Yes. Exactly. And I like, do you know who Byron Katie is?
Mm-hmm.
So she talks about the 3 businesses. And those 3 businesses are my business, your business, and God's business.
Yeah.
Whose business are you in?
Yes.
Because when I'm in your business, I'm miserable.
Right.
When I'm in my business, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
When I'm in God's business, I'm miserable. So whose business am I in having any control over?
Right.
Mine.
That's the only thing you do have control over. You may not control what happens to you, but you sure have control on what you're going to do with it. Right? Yeah. You know that the whole point is just be you. Everybody else is taken. Just embrace who you are and all your flawsomeness, because it's all our beautiful flaws. The Japanese take a broken bowl, put it back together with gold, and now it's flawsome and priceless. We've all been shattered along the line. Take our various pieces, put ourselves back together with self-love. And now you are flawsomely awesome in that pieces that are being put back together, even stronger than they were before, because it's with self-love, and it's only with self-love that you can truly give and share love.
I love that. I think that's beautiful, because that's really what it is. It's taking what's broken and putting it back together in a way that brings joy to the world. We have a lady here in Bandon that has this place. You should look her up. Art 101 is what it's called. ART 101. The number 1, the number 0, and the number 1. Look her up. She's amazing. She's actually in the Smithsonian, we found out. But she has found a way to take all of the discard and waste that has been thrown into the ocean, plastics and metals and anything, even just people discarding things out of their home, and has found a way to make literal art with it.
Yeah.
And she has along the highway there this beautiful masterpiece that she herself built. And it's a huge phoenix made out of all these plastic bottles and metal parts to trucks and different things like that, lawnmowers, rakes, you name it, she just put it there. Anything that was discarded, she was able to create this amazing, and she's creating a Art 101 park of all things recycled, all
Wonderful.
things that were being considered
Nothing
waste.
is a waste if you know how to use it, right?
I know. Right? Yeah.
There's a guy that I interviewed some years ago, and he's still doing it. People with their signs, I need food, I need this or that, he would buy their sign from them, right? Give them money, hear their story, and buy their sign. And then he has a couple of times now put in an art gallery of all of these signs and what they mean and the stories behind them. So he's given the story, he's given dignity, he's given awareness, right? Art is perspective. It's what we're going to each get out of it. We can all look at the same thing and get something different out of it. You're going to get out of it what you need to get out of it, right? And so, like this woman I've just interviewed today who's blind, doing art. She can see out of half of her eye. So just, one little provisional at a time. And it's all a question of what do we see from the inside out. Right? When we understand the vision from the inside, it will find its way out.
Yeah. Amen. Oh, and we could leave it right there. That's a profound. I can't top that ever. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna sit with that one for a while and let just kind of, just let it absorb in my spirit. That's beautiful. You need to write that one down if you haven't already done that.
Well, in actual fact, somebody said I've got these sayings and I should put it in a book. So they come out in shows, and so I give them chat and transcription, and they extract all the sayings, and we're putting a book together.
Awesome. Okay, this one deserves to be in a book, and I want that book.
It's
That's
a question
awesome.
of time, of one day a week to myself of when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've learned not to argue with the universe on time.
Yeah.
But I will do it bit by bit, and then there'll probably be a surge of energy. But I'm just gathering all the sayings right now. So
That's beautiful. I love
so,
that. Yeah.
but
Good job.
for me, that's the download, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful download.
So
Deep.
you are traveling right now, but that doesn't stop you from working. You're
No,
still able to do distance Reiki, and of course, you can help anybody on your travels as well.
I do, and I often do.
Right.
Yeah.
And so basically, you have one link that has everything on it. So it's Linktree, and
Yeah.
Linktree is linktr.ee/I Ruth Minnis, Minnis. That's I
Nope.
Ruth.
It's L.
Oh,
Ruth.
sorry, my apologies. It
Yeah,
comes
I
up as like
know.
an I.
Don't. Yeah, people
Yeah.
get that all the time.
Yes, no, and it's also my stupid ADD brain. L Ruth Manus, LL for love, L Ruth Manus, Minnis, under Linktree, linktr.ee, and all of her contact information is there. Everything that she's doing, anything that you want to sign up for, whether it's the she's got the Healing Arts YouTube, and you can book an appointment with her. She's got the Vibe special frequency. She's got a whole load of things there, and Instagram and Facebook as well. So you can reach her there. Please do reach out. You never know if she's actually in your area right now, right? So one never knows, but she can still work from anywhere. Obviously not hands-on, but with Reiki, you don't need hands-on. With the crystal or the rise frequency things, that is just a conversation as to what you need. It is important. The only way we're going to save ourselves as a human race, the only way we're going to save our planet, and the only way we're going to save any form of life in this universe here is for us to rise up to a higher frequency, rise up to a higher consciousness, and to become the love we seek, to become the peace that we seek, and to understand it's not somebody else's problem. Three fingers back at us, it's ours. And that when we step into self-love and peace and contribution in a higher form of energy, we then become the solution that this world needs. So we need each and every one of you to embrace that energy. And if you find it difficult to get there, that's what Ruth is here for. She's here to help you, show you how to tap into your frequency, how to turn it up, how to release negative energy, how to embrace the positive energy. What is it that you need, that you really feel that you're reaching out for, that's going to help you keep in that equilibrium and keep rising up? You're not meant to do it alone. She did it alone. She's here to make sure you don't have to do it alone. That's the whole point. She's learned it for you. So tap into her expertise and let her show you how to rise up in your beautiful divine energy and become the love and peace that we need as a human race. And the earth will thank you as well. And the universe will say, about goddamn time.
Oh, I love it.
It's been
Thank
very
you.
patient with us.
Yes, very. Oh,
Thank you so much for
thank
being
you.
here today, Ruth. It's been an absolute divine pleasure.
Oh,
I love what you're doing, everything that you stand for. I agree with it all.
thank you.
And just being around your energy, lifts one up and just shows us the power and the impact, the creativity, the joy, the exuberance of divine energy, of just stepping into it and what it can reveal, right? Just
Amen.
switch it on, turn it up, tap on it in, and then exude it out.
Yes. Let it flow.
Let it flow. Let it go. Let it flow. Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Sarah.
Ruth.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You too. Until next time, folks, remember, you are everything that you need. You just need guidance in order to understand that. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you to listen to right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Come and hear the illumination that's going to shed light on your path.
Find your path with the knowledge of others.